Oh, wow, that's a great song. Good afternoon. You're listening to Mother's Justice Show on 11:50 a.m. KKNW. I am your host, Reverend Walden, and it's my joy to be on air, as I say all the time. We had Armin Raw out just earlier. We had a little sunshine. Now we got a cloudy day. It's kind of overcast, but it's not raining. I want to get right to it. I mean, because we got a lot to talk about. I want to bring my guest on right now, Mr. Haywood Evans, longtime organizer in Seattle. And Mr. A.P.R.I is listening in. He might come on and might have something to say. But we're going to talk a little bit about April 4th, 1968, and what happened and what's happening now and how it all relates. And Haywood is going to tell, Mr. Evans is going to talk to us about it. All
Well,
right.
well, first, Reverend Walden, thank you for having me today.
Oh,
It's
you're
always
welcome.
it's always an honor to be on your show. And to the listenership, we are so blessed that we have a Reverend Walden out there just keeping us informed. Because for the most part, the black press, the black voice is not heard. And so truly, 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 we appreciate you. But on that note, as Reverend Walden shared with you, April 4th, 2025 marks the 57th anniversary. People like to say assassination. It sounds so more sterile than his murder. Literally,
Yeah.
Dr. King was murdered on that day. And
Hmm.
interestingly, his wife, the King family, filed a lawsuit and won.
Hmm.
United States government was tied up into it, as well as
Right.
this other guy, not Towers Jowers, but they
Hmm.
had to pay money to the King family.
Wow.
And so for me, I think people need to understand that
Right.
this wasn't this guy,
Hmm.
what was his
Just a
name?
loose cannon. Wasn't no loose cannon.
Well, yeah. He was literally murdered. Why? Because
Hmm.
he had the voice of the people.
Right.
Because he had the voice of not just black folk, but the poor.
Right.
All those folks who are struggling for upward mobility.
Hmm.
He had their back. Okay,
Yes.
he went against a war in Vietnam. I know a whole lot of folk went against a war in Vietnam.
Right.
But the bottom line was, like he said, that insufficient check that was to be made out to our people. And like Eddie always alludes to, 400 years of all that slavery and free labor and Jim Crow and everything else. And now you got this man sitting in the White House, him and his boy Elon Musk, coming right down on our people. This is time for us to again look at Dr. King and what we call it, the Martin Luther King Jr. Commemoration Committee, what we call this April 4th, we call it a day of remembrance.
Right.
And this is
Hmm.
a day to remember him, but also to honor the past and to empower our future. Because there's
That's
so
right.
many folk, Reverend Walden, you know, there's so many folk in our community who passed away who
Right.
people forget about. And
That's
and
right.
um, and who've contributed so much. Peggy Maxey, first African American woman elected to the legislature. Do people remember Peggy? Are they
No.
teaching about her in school?
No, 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 no. And that's one of the reasons why we're back in this position. I believe if we left Africa 240,000 years ago upright, went to every continent, I think we always forget. I mean, just what you're talking about. Forget what we need to always remember. Because the other folks don't never forget, but they always want us to forget. And somehow I think we signed into that. But I'm always glad to talk to you, Mr. Evans. You know why? You keep looking at
Hey,
that. But I got a
amen.
dark spot up there because my camera isn't working. But you know my voice, and I tell you one thing. What this verse brings to me is that wow. Look how far we come, and look how many people are still doing the work and what you might realize, I mean, Dr. Maxine Mims passed away a few months ago. I mean, actually it was last year, and she said if she was not here, that the one thing that she would want to do, she would want her birthday, she would want Founders Day to be her day of remembrance, and that's what happened on Saturday. I was not down there, but I was on the Zoom. I mean, you have people like Dr. Mims and like the people you're talking about, people who came through a system that understands. And sometimes people don't understand what the system was like, and the people who came through that system understands. But like I said, down in but the segregation wasn't all equal everywhere. I mean, some people did do more and had an opportunity. And Dr. King, coming up in a family that he came from, he had an opportunity for more education than a lot of people coming out of Mississippi and other places. So that's what this is about. And I always show up. I mean, for this event. I mean, because Dr. King is dear to me.
You know,
I mean,
I'm
go ahead.
glad you're saying that because you know what the whole thing is his story, her story. We got to write our own story.
Sorry, that's right. That's right.
And right now, with the decentralization of the education system, them trying to tear it apart and put it on state levels, and some of those more conservative states don't want to teach about slavery was a good thing for those Negroes because we taught them a trade. Say what?
We brought them everything you had. I'm going to get enough courage, and I'm going to say, "We made America back great." And on the back of it is going to say, give us our S back." And then we're going to name most of the things that we contributed, and most everything they use today. And the gentleman from South Africa only can go to space because Katherine Johnson only,
Hmm.
only because she knew how to do math in her head. I mean, and that's the story we should be showing to our kids every quarter. Hidden Figures, Harriet, Red Tails, all of these stories we should be showing them. I mean, because again, if you've been raised in a culture where you don't believe you can do anything, then that's where we at. See, and
Yeah,
that's what I like, about Mr. Ryan. All of us, we came from people who absolutely know how to make stone soup or whatever. I mean, there was nothing else.
but
And they knew how to wash diapers, not by Pampers, but wash diapers. Okay.
yeah, I remember them days. But if I may share with the listenership, now let's look at the state of Washington itself.
Yeah.
George Washington Bush.
Right.
If it wasn't for him,
Yeah,
Washington
but
State would not be founded. Now they try to
no,
write the history and give it to the Simmons guy, the white guy.
no,
He was never a frontiersman. He was a
no.
miller. It was George Washington
Washington
Bush who
Carver.
led that party.
Right. And Esther Mumford got a book called A Man Who Discovered a Town because Chehalis is named. He's that book is about him and the work he did in Chehalis.
Yeah,
Really. And I'm on here somewhere. Just a
but he
moment.
just tells you about the anti-black folk laws that were in Oregon Territory then.
That's right.
He had to go north of the Columbia River, which he
That's right.
did. And because of him, his settlement helped the
Mhm.
United States government influence the British Empire to set up that 39th parallel. It was
But
because of
also,
his settlement.
also to keep Canada from getting it.
Yeah,
Because Canada
exactly.
was Washington State would be part of Canada today if it wasn't for George Washington Bush. Right.
They wanted the border to be the Columbia River. That's what
That's right.
the British
That's right.
wanted.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. So, you cannot write us out of history because we're on every continent. But I know you got a lot to talk about the plans and what you want people to do, or how they can get involved and all of that stuff. Because really, like I say, I love being part of this because every time I hear his voice, I understand. I understand what it took to get 200 and almost 50,000 people there without a cell phone, without the internet, with only thing with the black press and all buses driven by black people because they own those buses to get the people. And there was no public accommodation. Okay,
And,
I know
and
what it took.
And that's why, to your listenership, I want to extend that invitation to the 57th anniversary of the Martin Luther King Commemoration Committee, our day of remembrance, the day that Dr. King was murdered, 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 is our networking dinner reception. And Reverend Walden, everything is free
Oh yes.
at Holgate Street Church of Christ, just 2 blocks north of Martin Luther King Jr. Civil Rights Memorial Park, across from the Tennis Center. Everybody is invited. 5:30 to 6:30 dinner program starts at 6:30, and it's going to be a magnificent program. And
Oh yes.
Josephine Howe is always there singing, and
Oh
Butch
yes.
Harrison,
Oh yes.
and the food is excellent.
Oh yes, and Holgate is always such a welcome host to us, and all the things that just coming from the community. It's such a welcome host. I mean, we got so many things to be grateful for. I mean, and as we move beyond some of this, what's up, whatever, we have a lot to be grateful for, and we have to just talk about our gratitude. Grateful that you and Mr. Ryan still doing this work and bringing on some younger people, and mothers kind of lost that bringing on the younger people because we were downtown trying to work on the community police commission. So, but I'm glad you're doing that and bringing young people behind because they need the education to understand what's going on.
And,
So,
and we sort of pride ourselves because all of our awards now are named after local folk.
right.
We can't,
Hmm.
and
Right.
Maxine Mims, like you said, one of the awards is named after her, the
Mm.
Trailblazer Award. I mean, come on. Yeah.
Trailblazer, man. You know what? I met Dr. Mims in the mid 80s, and she called everybody a genius. She
And
said,
I
"You're a
and I'm
genius."
frankly I'm in agreement with that because that innate talent exists within our people. The
That's right.
question is
Hmm.
access to education and the opportunity to
Well,
exploit it.
well,
That's why they
well.
try to keep us poor. So you can't really exploit your creativity. You have to worry about your next meal.
Well, I
Anyway,
tell you what, you know what, man plans the plan, creator plans another plan, and so we're grateful for the creator's plan. And the creator's plan say we have a right to be on the planet, we have a right to be here, and we have a right to be here now. You know,
and the creators made it clear. First people were black folk. Come
that's
on
right.
now, let's be real about it. You know, them
Oh
people
yeah,
don't
yeah,
spend nothing living over there in
yeah.
Africa.
Well, also, if they don't want to believe, they could go back and look at Dr. Leakey's work there in
Yeah.
East Africa, who is called her Lucy. Yeah, so it's all written, and there's a price to be paid for people to learn to read. And when you hear Dr. King's voice, it's like it resonates to you. I mean, for me, I'll just take the me statement, not that
No, no,
me.
me too.
Yes, and I encourage all of the listeners to listen to a knock at midnight. And that's what was going on when he was in Montgomery. When you hear a knock at midnight, you will absolutely be inspired. I mean, a knock at midnight, and when I see people was in Montgomery this past week, going to the church and visiting the church and some other places there in Montgomery, where Dr. King had, lived, and yeah. So, but this is wonderful. I'm always encouraged when we talk about how we can uplift, as Mary McLeod Bethune says, uplift as you climb.
April 4th. And that's just so critical that we come together and remember our local folk who
Yeah,
made
I
us
agree.
who we are, who
Right.
the trailblazers for us, and those who passed away. We can't just forget them. The Vivian
Well,
Cavers and a
also,
lot
but
of
we
people
can't
out
we
there.
can't let them write us out of history because capital. I mean, what is happening now is that
1965.
one of the things that's happening right now is over there at Carolyn Downs and all the work she's done. Now they want to call it Roots Health, And when
No.
they do that, then they're writing Carolyn Downs, the Panthers, and all the people who brought this free health clinics to Seattle in our community. They're calling it root housing now. I mean root, you call it, and it doesn't have anything about say about Carolyn Downs. So anyway.
I just had one little comment to make.
Hmm.
My daughter Angela was in Selma yesterday for the 60th anniversary of the 65 Bloody Sunday March
Right. Wow.
in Selma. So she was there and she did participate, and she also was instrumental in organizing a 24-hour State of the Black Union. And
Okay.
they were on the phone for 24 hours. They had over 20 members of the Congressional Black Caucus to participate. And I know
Okay.
she even hosted a session at 3 o'clock in the morning this time. So people are still busy all across the country. But I just want to remind everybody, yesterday was the 60th anniversary of the 1965 Bloody Sunday event that occurred, where John Lewis was beat out of his mind, and everybody else know what happened on the bridge. So I just want to interject that because we're gonna have to keep doing some marching.
Well, I agree. And I just want to add one thing about the Montgomery bar cart that people don't know is that the buses never came back to Montgomery.
Mhm.
Old Montgomery absolutely went into decay where my stepmother was living at. And now they want to put some apartments and all that stuff there to run the few people that's still there. And so if you ever do a boycott, you can't take the money back. I mean, because they're going to punish you like they did in Montgomery and in Jackson, Mississippi, and all of those places. See, so and that's a part of the history that people don't know. I know it because my stepmother was there and she was part of that part of that march. I'm glad this is happening, Eddie. I mean, sometimes we have to get energized. I mean, do you remember the rub boards when people were washing on rub boards and how they have to get out there and rub those clothes? Anybody remember that?
Oh, yeah. Wow.
You know, so hey, it's rub board time, right?
Time to get busy. Yeah.
Time to get busy. So hey, but I'm excited. I'm excited about the possibilities and all the good work that people like you and around the country know and here. Yeah. So at least this is still the left coast, right now. It's still the left coast. So, and we got learned judges out here who know how to shut people down. Learned judges.
Well, one thing people got to remember is that we are living in Martin Luther King Jr. County, so that should give you a little pride about showing up. Anything related to Martin Luther King Jr., we should have our people showing up. With the current political condition, you might as well bring your children because it's going to be waiting for them as well. So you might as well get them started early because this stuff is not going anywhere.
Well, you're right about that, Mr. Ryan. I absolutely believe that on some levels. I really do, and our children have to understand that what they've been taught is not true, and the greatness of the people who were stolen many years ago. And just because we were stolen all those years ago, centuries ago, don't mean we're still Africans, okay?
Well, I tell you what, your sons, Chikunde Salisbury and Amari Salisbury, are really carrying on your legacy and blazing new trails. And Chikunde I see him being in elective office. I can see him being elected. And Omari is keeping it live through Converge Media, exposing stuff that is happening in the community that normally wouldn't be exposed. And we certainly appreciate both of them.
Well, thank you for that. And Omari, he's international now with BESA. They going worldwide.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh,
and,
yeah,
Chikunde also was the classmate with the new police chief, Sean Burns.
Yes.
And he organized that reception at Mount Zion last month.
Wonderful. That was outstanding.
It really
was.
was
Outstanding. And that's what, one thing about going down south to school, it really does bring a cohesiveness that, it's a little different here, but, people make it through. But that comes from that Southern, I call it that African hospitality that we brought with us, how people come together from down there. Oh, I'm just so happy that you all are on here. And, it's like, hey, I love springtime, so you can tell I'm already perked up. Winter is for hibernating, so it's time to come out now. So I'm going to announce it once again, Mr. Haywood, before you go.
Thank you, Reverend Walden. If I may, it's the 57th anniversary of the assassination of Dr. King by the Martin Luther King Commemoration and Continuation Committee. It's our day of remembrance that we want to become an official county-wide to begin with holiday. Day of Remembrance, honoring the past, empowering the future. Friday, April 4th, 5:30 p.m., Holgate Street, Church of Christ, 2600 Holgate Street. If you need any additional information, please feel free to call 206-778-6357. That's me, Haywood. 206-778-6357. It's time for us to gather together to remember those folks who brought us this far. And we ain't going to let nobody turn us around.
All right. Well, hey, this is wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for coming on. And we'll have many more times to talk about that a few more times before April 4th is here. So thank you again, you and Mr. Rye. So thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Harriett. Thank you, Haywood.
All right. God bless. Thank you. All right, you listen to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW. I'm your host, Reverend Walden, and we'll be right back.
The Mother's Justice Show is brought to you by H.G. Walden and the Virtues Healing Circles. Join us for Wisdom and Wellness with Reverend Walden, a monthly virtual and in-person healing circle that focuses on community healing and growth. Learn more at virtueshealing.com. That's virtueshealing.com. Also, be sure to join our healing group on Facebook. Again, visit us at virtueshealing.com today.
Market Street Shoes is happy to sponsor the Mother's Justice Show in honor of our mother, Jackie Higgins Rosebrook, who spent her life fighting for social justice, and also in honor of all mothers who fight for social justice. Market Street Shoes, fashionable footwear and apparel for life's everyday adventures, in the heart of Ballard since 2006. Visit marketstreetshoes.com.
Tell your friends about Alternative Talk 1150.
Oh, good afternoon. You're listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW. I'm your host, Rev Walden. It's my joy to be on the air. I want to thank Mark Shoes for continuing to actually support Mother's Justice Show. I'm just so excited. That song, songs are always connect you somewhere, either somewhere you want to be, somewhere you are right now, somewhere you was, and then it helps you dream. That was one of my grandmother's favorite songs. So thank you that for Erica, my studio manager. Thank you so much. And I'm going to bring my next guest on, Gabriel Prawl, president of the president of A.P.R.I Randolph Institute, Seattle chapter. I've been around a long time, been on the show many times, and right. Hey, well, welcome, Gabriel. Hey, welcome, Spring. Yeah, welcome. Spring.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for the invitation. It's always a pleasure to come to your show and speak to our community and our people around the world. I mean, this is the great thing to having our information and having our own media, because we know already that we're not going to get the truth unless we go to our own Black media to get the information and to share the information. So I'm just happy to be here.
Well, I'm glad to be on the air. I'm glad for my supporters, and I'm glad to be this is going to be a podcast later. I'm glad to be on air, and thank you for talking about the Black media here even if you can get a show like this, it still gets you on the air and gets the word out there. So thank you so much for that. So I just love when you come on, because you bring a flavor of organizing and the spirit of A.P.R.I Randolph.
Yes.
Yeah, you bring that.
Thank you. I just happy that we just had our African American Charles Rowland African American Legislative Day back on February 17th,
right?
Veterans Day, and it was a very successful event. We had a big turnout from our community. We took about 64 young people, all school-age people, from BSEU students to middle school students that attended to our legislative day. They got a chance to engage with the Attorney General and many of the legislators and senators.
Wow.
And departments help. So that was really beautiful. They got a chance to tour the Capitol and see what's going on. And we even attended some hearings. So that was very encouraging and very influential in trying to make sure that we encourage our young people to be engaged. One of the great things that conversation was about that reparation study, and I think that was very interesting. That it had a big support from the entire community, and also to know that there was legislators pushing it, Black legislators pushing on this, and so that says that we got works to do, even though we know what's going on with the attack on DEI, we still got to be pushing on what we're supposed to be doing, because what they're doing is trying to take us back, and we're not going back. That's not happening.
No, I agree. I agree. We're not going back. We might need to change our tactics, though, and look at that piece. And I'm sure you'll have some organizing around that piece also.
Yes. So some of the things that we got coming up in trying to organize and even educating, we got A. Philip Randall's birthday coming up next month, April 15th. Is his birthday. And we have we'll be doing some kind of event on that day. So we'll be probably coming back to you to announce our event, what we're doing. At the same time, we are planning with the longshoremen to do Juneteenth.
Oh, yes.
And that's going to be coming up too. We already started our meeting at the Longshore Union Hall in Local 19. And we're probably going to be doing some Zoom thing. But the interesting thing about our Juneteenth celebration is that, This is our labor-led Juneteenth celebration. We have many community Juneteenth celebration happening, but this one is the first labor-led Juneteenth celebration, which focus on the struggle and the fight presently and looking forward to build a coalition for change. So that's the difference about Juneteenth on the waterfront. And also, the longshoremen shut down all 29 ports on that day for 8 hours to honor Juneteenth.
Wow. Well, one thing about the longshoremen, what I like about it is that it started out in some ways always being integrated. It was never, especially I think on the West Coast, but I'm not so sure about the South. But they have the power to shut down the worldwide. They have the power. I think the longshoremen are the only organized group that has the power to shut down every port almost worldwide.
and you're right about that. And, I'm just the things that the way we're going today, we need something like that in general. We talk about our unions coming together and doing some really serious action to cause some attention on what's going on with this administration, and also to exercise the power of the people, the community, and working class.
What the other thing too, what I like about the longshoremen, though, even though I've been in Washington since 1975, there are trades. There's still unions that Black people was not allowed to be in this state. Really and truly, and we tell the truth about it. But the longshoremen was always different, see, and that's why I believe they're dear to me, because they were different in this state in the way they started up. And you remember when Willie was here, and then he got wound up being the national president of the longshoremen, and Willie Adams, I think his name was, right?
That's correct.
Okay, yeah. So yeah.
Just and that's great, and that's historical, because he's the first Black to be able to become a longshoreman. Yeah. But you got to understand. I want people to understand the history of the longshoreman as well. It wasn't easy for Black people to become a longshoreman, just like any other union. Right. Mm-hmm. What changed the dynamic is back in 1934 when the big strike happened, when longshoremen went on strike. Mm-hmm. And the employers was using the Blacks from the South to come and cross the picket line. Mm-hmm. And there was a man by the name of Harry Bridges, which became the president of the ILW, and a person by the name of Dellons, who was part of A. Philip Randolph, that came together and say, you know what, reach out to the community and let them tell Black workers not to cross the picket line. And when we win the contract, longshoremen would let Black people in, and that's how Black people got into this industry. Right. So we got to really make sure we clearly represent the real history, because it wasn't easy.
The real organizer was A. Philip Randolph. Really, because he took his COL into the AFL-COL. You might want to give this
the AFL-CIO.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah, you might want.
Yes, because as you say, even at that same time, while the struggle of Black in the waterfront, it was also the struggle of Black in the House of Labor, the AFL. Yeah. And it took A. Philip Randolph nearly 20 plus years to kick the door open for Blacks to be able to be to be part of union. The Black people walking around today being part of unions, this happened because of A. Philip Randolph.
That's right, because they had 10,000 George, wasn't it?
10,000 men's named George. The sleeping car porters. And then after that, he got them into the AFL-CIO.
That's right.
We are the first A. Philip Randolph Institute, the first constituency group before CBTU, A.P.R.I, LACLA, all those other constituency groups that we see today that are part of the AFL-CIO. They all came under the back of A. Philip Randolph.
That's right. Yeah. And that's why our history is so important. I mean, because history, absolutely, it's like dropping those crumbs. So you have something to light your way, and you'll have something to encourage you. Or you say, oh, okay, yes, this has been done before, and maybe we can, continue that. And no, maybe. I mean, look how long it took to get a Juneteenth celebration. I mean, the people never stop, believing that something should happen. And that's what, I mean, A.P.R.I Randolph, me, I've come to love him in a different way. I mean, because, there's a lot of people out there when Gabriel was here, and that's another story, but we won't talk about that story. But also because he's from Florida.
Yeah.
You know how I am about Florida people. So it's like, oh my goodness, they were light bearers for us. They were there to help. No, they were there to help us. Don't get discouraged. I mean, we came along in horse and buggy days. We didn't have no electric lights. No microwave, no cars. And look what we did. So that's why I'm always excited to hear about the past.
So I want to be true to the people, and we know, and I know the history that goes back with A.P.R.I Randolph and even with Gabi, and
Yes.
We have to understand that we all are here on a different purpose,
Right.
and we embrace each other's purpose, and we got to unify ourselves together.
That's right.
To succeed, to defeat those things that are oppressing us and keeping us from moving forward.
Right.
And maybe back then people didn't understand that, but today
Right.
I understand that very well.
I agree. They understand it very well now. And the person that was involved with all of this throughout time, I mean, there's another conversation with J. Edgar Hoover. So that's another conversation about history, and his impact. But A.P.R.I Randolph, and I'm so proud of the A.P.R.I Randolph chapter here in Seattle, Washington. I mean, it's small,
Thank you.
but it's mighty. I mean, it really is. And now, as more young people understand, and some of those young workers out there might be more encouraged to come and become a member of this organization. Because you all are doing a great work. We wanted to also, before we get off there, you want to talk a little bit about the legislative day, and you did already.
Yes. So one of the things that we have to focus on bills that are moving and bills that are dead, right? Right now, there's the HB 1399, which is the Sheriff, Police, Chief, and Marshal bill, and that is an important thing that people need to be calling the legislator to back them up, because this is putting some accountability to our sheriff department.
Okay.
Police chief and all those that are leaders in the law enforcement to be accountable on what they're supposed to do and requirement to get that position
right
as a public servant.
Okay.
So we need to be focusing on this. Right now it's going on, it's in the House. So we need people to be getting on the legislature and senators and making sure that they are supporting the community when it comes to this bill.
All right.
I mean, there's quite a few more, and it would take a long time to just keep putting on.
Well, yeah, because we got a few more minutes here now. So.
Yeah, and then you got the House bills that that passed the House, and that's a program that will extend eligibility for remedy housing discrimination. So people has to be on that. This is to help people get interest-free loans to be able to do down payments on housing. People that are specific, Black, Hispanic, Native American. So these are things that are out there that people need to pay attention and follow, so they can take advantage of it when it's being put into in the process of action.
But this is also a short session. I mean, because a lot of things, the cutoff, I don't know if it's happened already, but this is a short session, I believe. So,
Yeah. So I think they've cut off one. I'm not looking at the date, but a lot of things being cut when it comes to financial part. I want people to be aware also that you got the governor's pushing that $100 million for police hire new law enforcement. But at the same time, we're not hearing anything about education, homelessness. What is the funding for those things, right?
Right.
So we got to pay attention to what's going on, and we need to be ready to act when it comes to the time to do something. So I want people to be aware of that. And join us on Juneteenth, because Juneteenth is going to be different this year. We're going to be bringing some great speakers. We have we're going to be inviting up people that did Juneteenth last year with us from Canada, from the Organs Alley, which was a location where Black people went when they was on the Puget Sound Underground Railroad. We're going to be inviting great speaker from the ILW, Clarence Thomas.
All right.
Not the Clarence Thomas in
DC. We're going to have to take it, we have to end it right here, but we'll have you back on to talk about those things. Okay, we have some time to do that. But I want people to know that this is going to be a podcast later on. We would tell you, this is Gabriel Prawl here. He's president of the Vaco Randolph Institute here in Seattle, Washington, Seattle chapter. So thank you so much, Gabriel. We'll have you back on real soon before Ace's birthday, okay?
Okay, Mother. Thanks for inviting me again.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right, thank you. We've been listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW. I'm your host, Rev Harriett. It's my joy to be on the air. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Market Street Shoes is happy to sponsor the Mother's Justice Show in honor of our mother, Jackie Higgins Rosebrook, who spent her life fighting for social justice, and also in honor of all mothers who fight for social justice. Market Street Shoes, fashionable footwear and apparel for life's everyday adventures, in the heart of Ballard since 2006. Visit marketstreetshoes.com.
The Mother's Justice Show is brought to you by H.G. Walden and the Virtues Healing Circles. Join us for Wisdom and Wellness with Reverend Walden, a monthly virtual and in-person healing circle that focuses on community healing and growth. Learn more at virtueshealing.com. That's virtueshealing.com. Also, be sure to join our healing group on Facebook. Again, visit us at virtueshealing.com today.
Oh, you're listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW. I'm your host, Rev Harriett. This is my joy to be on air. Grandma's hand, Grandma's hands was on me because I was raised by my grandparents. Oh, Eric, you just on it today. I appreciate the music. And guess what? I want to bring my guest on today. His name is Mr. Aaron Hebrew, and I met him many, many years ago. And this is his first time guest here on my Mother's Justice Show. And welcome. Aaron, how are you doing today?
Thank you so very, very much, Reverend Walden. I am blessed to be here and grateful and thankful and honored to be on your show. As a healthcare professional, it is important for me to maintain a certain semblance of not just physical and mental and spiritual health, but social health as well. And this is a great opportunity for me to extend and expand on that. Thank you again for that. Again, as a healthcare professional, I'm a caregiver, and currently, Reverend Walden, I'm a living caregiver, and I practice with Dr. John Rulin over at the Natural Health Medical Clinic, and I've worked at Bastyr Naturopathic Clinic.
Oh, wow.
As a teaching assistant, a certified nursing assistant, advanced home care aid specialist, home care aid technician, and I have about 20 other certifications. I got into this back in '95, and I know you don't be remembering this, Reverend Walden, but it was because of you that you were the one that directed me into this career and directed me to my purpose. I brought a young man to you who had jumped off of a bridge, and I was looking for a place for him to be, and I didn't tell you at the time that I was sleeping on relatives' couch and didn't have income and was technically without housing, but you directed me into me and made him and I pointed him out to you because your son told me where the meetings were, and you all of a sudden went into drill sergeant mode and assigned him to me. I'm thinking, I don't have anything to offer this guy. That's why I'm taking him around. The King County Council rejected us. The Seattle Police Department officer and they rejected us. And when I'm standing there talking to you, and I'll always remember you telling me to tap into the ancestors, you were channeling my ancestors to me and showed me that all the work that you was doing was a great example for me. To take an individual who didn't think his life was worth living, and you made that my assignment. You made me a tool, and you did, Reverend Walden. You made me a tool in God's tool belt. And at the time, I was blind and couldn't see it. I said, she doesn't know what she's talking about. She doesn't know this guy. And I just met her, and she's telling me what I'm going to do. And long story short, Reverend Walden, you were right on every step. I was
praise the Most High.
and you kept me in line. And I needed that good, swift kick because you don't mess around. And you
boy, mama.
And I want to thank you for that because it not only directed me to a career path, but a purpose in life and showed me where the strength lied within me.
Right.
Things that I was capable of doing. You forced me to reach in and to stop reaching out. And it has solidified me, not just as a caregiver, but as a human being. Because this individual didn't just survive his encounter. He is thriving now.
Wow.
And now we're looking to purchase him a home where he will have for himself. And I didn't tell you the struggles and the hassles I was having, but I would call you periodically. And you would give me certain scripture and spiritual inspirations that really, really kept me on course. And I knew that you were working with other people. You had mothers, your program with mothers. You were representing the community at all of these police meetings, at the King County meetings, the city council meetings. I don't know where you had time for yourself or your family. Let me
well, I brought him with me. I brought him with me.
I didn't mean to take you for granted, but it seems like I did. But you gave me my assignment, made me a tool in God's tool belt, and I have not looked back. It took 5 years to get on a program that was beneficial to this individual, and now I have 3 individuals that I work with.
Wow. That's just amazing. It's amazing on what the Creator can do through people. If you allow yourself to, and, like you say, most of this I'm not really recalling. I mean, because, man, out of 35 years of doing this work, it's like, wow, when people come up and say things, or they call me or they make a post or something, and I'm saying, wow, it's it's tremendous work. And, by being a healthcare professional and that it takes a toll on your health too. And so one thing I know you about also is about wellness, because this work will, hey, it's not for the faint of heart. Let's say it that way.
That's true. But if they reach into their spirit and let their battery be the Creator.
That's right.
That's what you taught me along the way, and to call on the ancestors. And you would help me call on my ancestors. I never came to you complaining about it. I would just tell you there was something going on. And like I was with another organization and couldn't give my attention to both. And you said this thing about the Lord is my shepherd. And I recall the shepherd had a 100 sheep and one went astray. And that left the 99 to go deal with that one astray. And that was the trigger you gave me, Reverend Walden. You would give me
thank you.
Pearls of wisdom that I had to decipher. But it took a while to make the connections. But you kept me on a spiritual path. And that's
what's good about this is that then sometimes the individual that was helping, they get fed and filled up too, and understanding that, I remember this and the other, it's strength and that and the other. So I really appreciate you coming on and just giving some, giving some of your thoughts in your life. and say, because it's we all need the strength right now. And as you
Yeah.
know, we all, some of us are maneuvering around by manifesting perfect health, and some
Yeah.
people are moving on to the other plane. But this is just wonderful. I just want to let my listeners know that this also will be a podcast after our show. It'll be available up on Mothers at KKNW. 11:50 a.m. KKNW, Mother's Justice Show, and yeah, I mean, I really want you to hear this from Iron. I mean, absolutely fabulous individual who has committed his life to helping other people. In this way, as we move through all these events, he's ready, and he's willing, and he's absolutely capable of navigating. So I wanted to just appreciate you that, and let you go ahead and continue. Hey, we got a few more minutes here yet, so yeah, go ahead.
I want to thank you for that. That navigating was through your guidance, and you were spiritually inspired. So, because I was frustrated along the way, but you kept me afloat. And let me say this to your listeners: you did not know I was going to come on and talk about this. I was going to talk about health care and things of that nature. You did not know I was going to give a testimony to your greatness and how you put me on the right path to a purpose that is a career for me now, and directed me to my inner strength, because I haven't had a day off since '95, and I don't say that as a complaint, but as a testimony to the strength that you have introduced me to. And for people out there who have someone that they're taking care of, family member, friend, whatever, the Department of Social and Health Services, contact the Aging and Disability Department and ask them to send you out a case manager to interview you to see what you are eligible for, because you can get paid for taking care of a family member, a friend, a spouse, or a child. You can get paid for the services that you are providing.
Well, you know what? That's wonderful. I mean, to even know that, because so many times people have lost their homes or whatever, trying to help other people. But as people talk about what's not here, there's still a lot of things still available. And what you just announced, is still going to be available to be able to help people who's helping other people. And that's just, it's just astonishing that you've been doing this all of this time too, and with the same individual and other. With some, when God put you in a place that's where you're supposed to be at, then you get to stand. You get to stand, and you're standing.
You taught me that, Reverend Walden. I had lost my way. And you were like a spiritual compass. And I want to thank you for that, because you helped save that individual's life, but my spiritual life, and which is my life as a whole. And I know that you don't be remembering this because you help so many people. You do so much in the community, but I want to thank you. And that's really shallow for all that you have done. It's putting me on track like that has allowed me to continue to share that with other people and to work with other people to bring this out. And I would have never found this as a career path. I was trying to find a place for him, but instead you directed and guided me to a place for us. And
wow.
I have been happy ever since. Thank you, Reverend Walden. You're the greatest.
Oh,
Say these things. You did not know.
No.
I'm glad that I busted them out like that for the people to hear.
Well, also, I mean, I want to acknowledge you for absolutely listening. I mean, to the voice inside. I mean, because sometimes somebody, it's not me speaking. It's the Spirit of God that lives in me and compels me to be obedient when I get a message and stuff like that. But sometimes God blesses you in another way, because you can come back and bless me with strength and understanding and say, oh, you know what? I mean, because strength is a two-way deal, I mean, because sometimes you give it out and then, hey, and then Creator comes back around and say, oh, yeah, well, let me give you a dish of this strength from somebody else that that you have dished up for many, many years ago. And they might have moved on, but they didn't move. They did not forget, where that came from. But it didn't come from me. It came from me being obedient to what lives in me. I mean, and this is what I tell people, they want peace. Well, you have to have peace. You want love, you have to have love. You can't just go to the store and buy it. You have to have it. You really can't. Oh, yeah. Well, we got about a couple more minutes here, and we'll be signing off for this week. But I just want to appreciate you. for always being steadfast. I mean, steadfast is a virtue that I used to didn't like because black people always have to be steadfast. We always have to be hanging on. We have to always be the one, you know. But it's a great virtue to have steadfastness. And I want to just acknowledge your steadfastness. You've always been kind and courtesy, and you've always just been helpful to me. I mean, when I've called, I mean, you talk about what I've done for you, but it's a two-way street. It's not just a one-way. You know, I mean, it's not like making a sandwich. You can't make a sandwich with just a little piece of bread. You gotta have. I mean, some people have, but it's hard to make a sandwich with just a piece of bread. You need to put something in it, and that's how life is, And I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for all the people that Creator put in my way. I mean, along this journey. And some places they say you've known people in other lifetimes, and other places they say no, it's just this time. But I tell you, it's a blessing to be able to be here and to as we all go through all this energy and what's happening in the world right now. Our light and our wisdom is absolutely necessary, and that's why we've been talking about health. And strengthening things and how to be strong. And I'm going to have you back on to talk about some of that because we're gonna need some strengthening information. Some of that good old tonic or something that our ancestors might have been drinking. I don't know, but I'm just led to say I want to have you back. I'm putting it out there so you can come back at another time so we can continue this wonderful conversation. Okay?
I'd be honored.
Oh yeah. So. Anyway, Seattle Central used to be an organizing place. Mothers was there for many years. And at that time, we were Mothers Against Police Harassment. So
that's how I met you. And your son, I went up there and was sitting at a cafeteria table talking about my experiences, and your son said, "You sound like my mother." And I said, "Who is your mother?" And he said, Harriet Walden. And he's the one that directed me to you.
Oh, yeah, wonderful.
The fruit doesn't fall far from the tree. And
well, that's how I feel about you, too. I really do. And our time for this show is winding down, but I want to thank you for coming on, being yourself, and we will continue the conversation, okay?
Thank you, Reverend Walton. God bless you. Peace and love.
God bless you, too. Peace and love. Well, you've been listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW. I am your host, Reverend Walden, and have a great day, good afternoon, and we'll talk again. Thank you so much. Thank you.